Oregonians for Science and Reason is a Northwestern United States resource for scientific skeptical news, events, and philosophy that promotes advocacy of public understanding of the scientific method, rational thinking, and the positive effects that such understanding and knowledge can have on people's lives. Please visit us at www.o4sr.org.
Got a question. And it's dangerous not to question, because if you don't question, believers become vulnerable to propaganda. And that propaganda can present the understandings of some other group, not their group, as dangerous, disagreeable, false, even heretical. And they get trapped in their own religious perspectives, and they get blinded to what are the fruits of free inquiry. So, to we who value the rights of all human beings, to we who define humanity as a community that extends beyond the national and religious and ethnic boundaries, the destruction of any group, has devastating ramifications for our entire species. So defining humankind is not the privilege of one nation or group. It's the prerogative of all human beings. And now, the way that people communicate about this and these ideas with each other are much more interactive nowadays. And so if we want to find a home for peace in this increasingly interactive world where things are coming at us pretty fast, it's imperative that we listen thoughtfully to the communications about the faith of other people. Thoughtfully. Including the secularists. Because if we listen thoughtfully, then we have a chance of bridging these bridges of understanding between people, and peace can find a home in the world we live in. So let us therefore heed the words of Mahatma Gandhi. He warned us that our ability to find unity in diversity is going to be the beauty and the test of our civilization. We have to build bridges instead of destroying them. Now that I've explained to you what motivated me to create this book, and what I hope to accomplish by its publication, one final question that remains that I want to deal with. How much influence can a book have in the war against terrorism? That's a good question. It really is. Can a book help solve problems that are long-standing and deeply embedded? A book. Am I just kidding myself, thinking that my book could accomplish anything significant in the war against terrorism? Well, of course, it would be naive of me to believe that such a book as this would dramatically alter the mindsets of people who carry out attacks that are as horrific as the ones that took place on September 11th. But it can do this. It can clarify the issues, hopefully. If people read it, it can serve as a catalyst for change, and it can sow the seeds of understanding, which one would hope can grow. There's a book called The Ethics of the Fathers. It's a compilation of the ancient, timeless wisdom of the Jewish sages. And in that book, Rabbi Tarfon tells us and admonishes us, it is not incumbent upon you to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. So it's my long-term hope that the efforts of Dr. Van Til and Shanavas and Rabbi Kate bear fruit. They can convince people, hopefully, who need to be convinced that accepting evolution does not need to be the cause for rejecting your religion. It's not an either-or proposition. They can convince people of that who will hold them up as role models and model themselves after those three people. Now, I have to say, there are some people, and some of them may be here tonight, and I know such people, who feel that attempts such as mine to reconcile science and religion are misguided. That evolution does require rejecting religious beliefs. And according to many of these people, religious beliefs, such as those of Rabbi Kay and Dr. Shanavas and Van Til, cannot stand up to scientific scrutiny and therefore should be entirely done away with. I know such people. I want to remind these people that even Daniel Dennett, a prominent non-theist who believes that religion is nothing more or less than a natural phenomenon, also believes, quote, that religions can bring out the best in a person. And according to Dennett, quote, religion makes people rise above themselves. Religion gives people a perspective on life that helps them make the decisions that we all would be proud to make. Daniel Dennett says, quote, there's much for religion lovers to be proud of in their traditions, and much for all of us to be grateful. For example, according to the National Opinion Research Center surveys, religiously committed Jews, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus are not only encouraged to engage in virtuous behaviors like forgiving and being compassionate and being charitable, they do engage in such behavior. Religiously committed individuals not only advocate charitable giving, they are more charitable than the non-religious. I also want to remind these people that the founder and director of the Skeptic Society, Michael Shermer, in his book, Why Darwin Matters, informs us, quote, religion thrives in the modern age because it still serves a useful purpose as an institution for social cohesiveness and as a guide for finding personal meaning and spirituality, a function that Shermer says science has left largely untouched. Now, many members of the Skeptic Society, Michael Shermer Skeptic Society, describe themselves as secular humanists. In this room, may describe yourself as a secular humanist. And secular humanists, their search for ethical principles is not based on scriptural authority. Rather, it's based on whether the ethical principles that are put forth do indeed aid in the enhancement of human well-being. That's where they derive their ethical principles. And because of that, secular humanism clearly does provide an alternate, non-scriptural pathway to being virtuous. But since religion and secular humanism both provide pathways to being virtuous, it's in their common interest to respectfully understand each other. And in the spirit of respectful understanding, those people who express faith in scriptural truths should not be disrespected by secular humanists. And secular humanists who respectfully doubt the truth of Scripture shouldn't be censured by religious groups. Well, I've covered a lot of ground here tonight. Covered a lot of bases. Made some people happy, offended some people. We don't know, but that's what it's all about. This is what I think. That's why I'm here. We've gone from Genesis 1, in which God says, let there be light, to let there be evolution. We've hopefully gone from respectful understanding to peace, to which I want to add a few words. Inshallah. That's Arabic for if Allah wills. Im Yirtzeh Hashem. That's Hebrew for if God wills it. And God so will it, which is English, American, Canadian, Australian, and even Oregonian, for God so will it.
Discussions, questions, let's
Thanks for watching this video presentation from Oregonians for Science and Reason. For more information on previous and upcoming events, please visit us at www.o4sr.org.